located in the Piedmont region. With thrills, nature, adventure, and sports. Vibrant energy. Where downtown is uptown. Great food. This is Panther Country. Join us as we explore the Queen City.
And this is Charlotte. Well, kind of. Right, Bailey?
One of the things that has caused Charlotte to grow as both a vacation destination and a place to move to is the variety of things to do. In this video, we'll take you to the US Nat'l Whitewater Center with rafting, ziplining, and more. We'll hike the trails of Mtn State Park, bike the Sugar Creek Greenway, and explore Freedom Park. Give you a tour of one of the more highly rated theme parks in the US, Carowinds. We'll show you around Uptown, living it up in the city. Take you inside of Truist Field for a Charlotte Knights baseball game. Explore the historic 4th Ward, and we'll show you some of the creative eateries, food markets around Charlotte, as well as taking you to its popular food festival, A Taste of Charlotte. Go inside some of the museums, including the Museum of Illusions, the Mint Museum, and taking a pit stop at the Nascar Hall of Fame. Then we'll take you for a ride at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's not just Uptown that makes Charlotte so popular, but the unique neighborhoods around it. We'll show Waxhaw and Cane Creek Park, the artsy district of NoDa, Baxter Village, Ballantyne, and Mooresville, where we take you up to North Carolina's largest lake, Lake Norman. Give you tips on lodging. So whether you are moving to Charlotte or coming to visit, I think this video will give you some good info.
Welcome to Charlotte!
It's time to show you the Queen City. So strap up, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Charlotte sits on what is called the Piedmont. That's the middle region of North Carolina, between the Atlantic coast and the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's only an hour to the mountains that we'll show in a bit, and a little over 3 hours to Myrtle Beach. It is 10 miles north of the South Carolina-North Carolina border. The border actually runs right through Carowinds theme park, which we'll come back to and give you a pretty detailed tour of. Also, at the border on I-85, if coming from Atlanta, is a pretty good information center, not only for Charlotte, but also all of North Carolina. All right, let's start off with some coffee, then talk a little about Charlotte. Amelie's French Bakery is great.
Thanks for coming in to Amelie's. Hey!
This is the Uptown location, but they also have one in NoDa. Excellent lattes and espresso, and a wide assortment of pastries with some gluten-free options. An impressive indoor area with the chandeliers. I'm choosing to eat outdoors on this beautiful morning. Some quick facts about the Queen City, then we'll go and have some fun. It is named after Queen Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz. That's a province in northern Germany. She was the wife of King George III. For many, Charlotte is just right. With its mild climate, it's a four-season city. Floridians like it because there's a change of seasons, and while the summers can get a little hot and humid, temperatures rarely go above 90. Those from the north like it because the winters are mild. Rarely do temperatures go below 30 degrees. The downtown is referred to as Uptown because it actually sits at a slightly higher elevation than the rest of the city. But that's not the only thing that is up. It is ranked as a top 10 city for doing business, with North Carolina being the #1 state last 2 years in a row. Currently, Charlotte is the third fastest growing city in the U.S., only behind San Antonio and Fort Worth, Texas. It is the 15th most populated city in the country. The metro area has 2.9 million residents, which also includes a little of South Carolina, with communities like Baxter Village we'll show later. Even with all that growth, there is still more than 40 miles of greenbelt land with open spaces and paths for biking and walking, as we'll see in this video. As a result of the growth, traffic has greatly increased, and you'll find construction all over the place, but it's nothing like Atlanta. To help ease the traffic, Charlotte does have a clean light rail system. The Linx Blue Line covers 19 miles with 26 stations and 10 park and ride locations, which are free to park. It runs every 15 minutes during peak hours and 20 minutes off-peak. And there's the Gold Line streetcar, which currently runs 4 miles long with 17 stops. The Linx is $220 per trip or $660 for a day pass. Alright, now you know a little about the city. Let's head out to a couple of the surrounding recreational areas. Then we'll come back and show you around the streets of Uptown. One of the most popular recreational areas of Charlotte is the US Nat'l Whitewater Center. This is both a training facility for outdoor sports and a recreation center for the general public to paddle, zip, climb, bike, and more. It's the largest man-made whitewater park in the world. It is free to walk around, and while you can't bring your dog rafting or ziplining, the grounds are dog-friendly, and there's also an off-leash area. The center offers several casual grab-and-go outlets for food and drinks, including the Pump House Beer Garden.
Hey, swim that way! Swim! On your stomach!
You can purchase a single activity pass, but I'd recommend a day pass that is $79 for ages 10 and over, or $69 ages 9 and under. It includes access to 12 different activities. If you've never done whitewater rafting, this is a great place to start because you're in a very controlled environment, yet you can experience the rapids of the mountains.
One more! Oh yeah!
With 4 different levels of rafting. There's whitewater kayaking for experienced kayakers. You can also take an instructional course here. It is a little more challenging, as you can see. They also have calm waterways for flat water kayaking or stand-up paddleboards. There are 5 different options for ziplining. For a couple of the options, it's an additional $10, like the double down zipline seen here. There are also 9 different options for the ropes course as you traverse through a forest and over the rapids on suspended rope bridges. There's a challenge course and play area for little kids or big kids like me, with ropes and obstacles that are much closer to the ground. There are over 40 miles of trails for mountain bikers, hikers, and trail runners. From mid-November through mid-February, there's ice skating. And the center has one of the largest outdoor rock climbing complexes on the East Coast for all skill levels. 30 miles west of Charlotte, in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, are a couple of mountain state parks that are close to each other. There's Kings Mountain in South Carolina, that is $3. Not far from that is Crowders Mountain that we are doing, which is free to enter. This is Shorts Lakes, that is near the Visitor Center at the Sparrow Springs entrance to Crowders Mountain State Park. There's 2 mountain peaks here, Crowders Mountain Peak at 1,625 feet and Pinnacle Peak at 1,700 feet. Offers great views of the Piedmont. The Crowders Mountain Trail is about 5.5 miles and takes about 3 to 4 hours. We are doing the Pinnacle Trail here. It's a 4-mile round trip out and back trail that takes 2 to 2.5 hours. Both trails are dog friendly. You can see the Charlotte skyline from here. Alright, let's take you back to Uptown. We begin our tour of Uptown in this little modern park called The Green. There's a parking garage underneath where parking is $18 for 2 hours, or you can do metered parking on the streets is $1.50 per hour, free after 6 p.m. Here there's a fountain for kids to play in. Across the street is the Mint Museum, one of the most highly reviewed museums in Charlotte. It's $15 for adults, $6 for children 5 to 17. Or you can do a Charlotte Attractions Pass to save money. A one-day pass is $46 for adults, $35 for children. Or 2 days pass is about $10 more. It includes 6 attractions, including this museum, and others we'll show you, as well as the Carolina Raptor Center, where you see birds of prey, located 25 minutes north of Uptown, and also the Daniel Stowe Gardens, about 45 minutes west of Uptown. The other museums are within walking distance. The Bettler Museum of Modern Art is across the street from the Mint Museum. This is the view from the Bettler Museum. Next to the Bettler Museum is the Knights Theater to catch the Carolina Symphony or a Broadway show. And a block away from the Mint Museum is the Museum of Illusions, also included with this pass. This is a really neat place to take selfies, as there are optical illusions for some real creative pictures. There's staff throughout the museum to explain the illusion you are looking at. And next to the Charlotte Convention Center, about 4/10 of a mile south of the Mint Museum, is the NASCAR Hall of Fame, also part of the Attractions Pass. Or if you do it alone, it is $36 per person. This is the center of the NASCAR world, with 90% of its racing teams are based within a 90-mile radius of Charlotte. You will see the cars and history of famous NASCAR drivers like Dale Earnhardt and Kyle Petty. But it is good to do even if you are not a NASCAR fan, as there are over 50 interactive experiences. There's a pit crew challenge, where you jack up a car, put in a fuel can, and change tires. Totally fun. They also have a racing simulator where you get into a car and you race with other people. We'll take you in a real car in a bit at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, but for now, let's show you a little more around Uptown. A block away from the Mint Museum on Tryon Street is a scenic courtyard with water fountains and statues. You can take an hour tour on this vintage golf cart for $49. Uptown is separated into 4 different wards, with the center at Independence Square on the corner of Trade and Tryon Street. Here you'll find the Four Corners monuments representing the pillars of Charlotte's growth. There's the Commerce statue, a gold digger. Gold was discovered here in the 1830s. The Industry statue, a textile factory worker, and the Transportation statue, a depiction of an African American with a hammer. Those 3 statues are looking at the 4th statue, representing the future, a woman holding a baby. 4/10 of a mile away is First Ward Park, a modern urban park with fitness stations, a large water fountain, and a large splash pad area to cool off on a hot day. Across the street is the 7th Street Market, a lively indoor market with bars, bakeries, and a variety of counter-served eateries. Try Sweet Crunch waffles for unique, tasty Belgian waffles. Because of Charlotte's mild climate, you'll find many festivals here. One of the biggest is A Taste of Charlotte. Usually happens in early June. It's a 3-day festival where you can sample food and drinks from many of the area's restaurants and bars. Bailey sure loved the smell and the atmosphere. There's live music and entertainers like One Life Wonder performing here, or Blazing Keys Entertainment, who do dueling pianos. Some of the places of interest in the 3rd Ward is Brevard Court, a brick courtyard with several eateries. It connects to an Art Deco passageway called The Alley, and a block away is the Ink and Ivy, an eat, drink, and social restaurant and bar with a large patio overlooking Romere Bearden Park. Also, from April to the end of September, you can catch a minor league baseball game at Truist Field. For most games, only service dogs are allowed, but once a month they do have Bark in the Park, and you don't have to purchase an additional ticket for the dog. On this day, they were playing the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. What a name, makes me hungry. There's lots of interactive activities with the fans. A large grassy knoll beyond left field where kids can play, and also several carnival-type vendors and games beyond the right field wall. And on weekends, there's fireworks after the game. Also in the 3rd Ward is Bank of America Stadium. It is home to the NFL's Carolina Panthers, and the Major League Soccer's Charlotte FC holds 75,000 seats. Charlotte's NBA team, the Hornets, play in the Spectrum Center, located in the 2nd Ward. And finally, there's the historic 4th Ward in the northwest quadrant of Uptown. Here you'll see beautiful grand Victorian homes, luxury condos, parks, and brew pubs. There's several walking tours you can take here. We now head 20 minutes northeast of Uptown to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This speedway hosts 2 NASCAR Cup Series races. The Coca-Cola 600, which is the longest Cup Series race, happens on Memorial Day, same day as the Indy 500. And in October is the Bank of America Royal 400, part of the NASCAR playoffs. For you adrenaline junkies, this is one of the tracks where you can do the NASCAR experience. With this, you can ride in and even drive a stock racing car. They often run specials where you can ride 3 laps for about $160, or you can drive the car for about $350. There's options for more laps if you want to spend more money. This is a 1.5-mile quad oval track with 24 degrees of banking in the turns. You can purchase a video for $60. The movies Days of Thunder and a few scenes from Talladega Nights were filmed here, and Ricky Bobby's dream home was on Lake Norman that we'll show in a bit. I'll keep this helmet because I have to drive through Atlanta traffic later in this trip. We head to the largest urban park in Charlotte, Freedom Park. This is a huge 98-acre park. With paved trails, tennis, volleyball, and basketball courts. A large lake with bridges, water fountain. And it is dog-friendly. As well as a regular large playground, it also has a Play 60 Kids Zone. These are very modern outdoor spaces built by the NFL to encourage children to stay physically active for 60 minutes, featuring obstacles and fitness zones. And there's outdoor movies in the park pavilion here in the spring, summer, and fall, from Wednesdays to Saturdays. Most are free. The movie Shallow Hal was filmed here. Also, the Little Sugar Creek Greenway Trail runs through here. This is a 19.5-mile asphalt trail that runs through Charlotte and down to the Catawba River in South Carolina. Okay, let's head back to the North Carolina-South Carolina border to Carowinds Theme Park.
Have fun at Carowinds!
Carowinds is half in Charlotte and half in Fort Mill, South Carolina, with the border running straight through the park. Only service dogs are allowed here. Comparing this park with Dollywood that we just showed in our Pigeon Forge video, which I'd encourage you to check out if you haven't seen it. Carowinds is about $45 cheaper with a one-day ticket if you book online, $60 for adults, $55 for those under 48 inches. That's including taxes and fees. And a 2-day pass is $92, which is cheaper than a one-day pass at Dollywood. Also, keep in mind that here, the Carolina Harbor Water Park is part of the theme park, so no extra fee for the water park, whereas at Dollywood, it's a whole separate park. So, as parents, you could be chilling in the lazy river while the kids are riding the coasters. Dollywood does have a lot more shows, live entertainment, and the train, but Carowinds has more roller coasters, including the Ferry 325. Ranked as the number 10 coaster in the world. It's the tallest, fastest, and at 1.25 miles is the longest non-launch steel coaster in North America. With an 81-degree drop, reaching speeds of 95 miles per hour, goes under a pedestrian bridge through a high-speed bank curve. And Carowinds has Camp Snoopy, with many rides for younger children as well. I think more so than Dollywood does. By the way, we are doing the current #1 theme park, Silver Dollar City, in our Branson video next month. Let me show you the layout of the park as we ride the Carolina Sky Tower. You can see the Charlotte skyline from here. That's the Ferry 325 over there. The red coaster is Vortex, and behind that, Slingshot, and further out, the Ricochet coaster. In the distance is the water park. In lower left is the Nighthawk coaster. Vortex was the South's first stand-up coaster. Goes up a 90-foot hill, then soars into a large vertical loop, followed by an oblique loop, then down to a carousel maneuver. The Nighthawk climbs up a 115-foot hill while riders lay on their backs, then flips over, rotating riders so they are facing the ground, then dives head first towards the water. There's 8 inversions, reaching speeds of 51 miles per hour. The Thunder Striker is the tallest, fastest, and longest hypercoaster in the Southeast, with speeds of 80 miles per hour, 232 feet high, and almost 4 minutes long. There's the Kitty Hawk, an intermediate coaster, not too fast and not too slow. It's inverted, where your feet dangle in the open air. There's the Ricochet, a wild mouse-type coaster with wacky turns. The Hurler, a classic wooden coaster. And the Drop Zone. Another advantage to Carowinds is they have a Panda Express. Now, it is about double the cost of a normal Panda Express, but at least I can get some reasonably healthy food inside the park. Carowinds does have an all-day dining for $32, which includes 1 entree and 1 side, or $44, which includes a snack and a drink as well. There's the Carowinds Theater, where currently Brad Ross, an illusionist, performs. He has a whole cast of performers who put on a high-energy, entertaining show. For some of the routines, he has this fellow vintage magician doing routines with him. They both do the cutting the girl in half simultaneously, and amazingly put the bottom half of one girl with the top half of the other girl. There's just a variety of routines that will make you wonder, how did they do that? Of all the cities I have filmed, I think Charlotte might be the best for grab-and-go foods, with their many creative food markets, counter-serve eateries, and casual bar grills. Take this Akahana Asian Bar and Bistro, a sushi restaurant with an outdoor patio and park next door, located in this master plan community of Baxter Village, just 6 miles south of Carowinds. It's a nice little neighborhood to check out. Across from the park, for fresh seafood and oysters, is the fish market in a nice garden courtyard. Classic southern upcountry homes with front porches and rocking chairs. Just a mile north of Uptown is Optimist Hall. You can take the Linx Blue Line to the Parkwood station to get here. This building was formerly Charlotte's largest textile mill, built in 1892, has more than 25 tenants. There's a Badiwala Indian food, an Ethiopian restaurant, barbecue, fresh healthy juices, Suarez, a Cuban-inspired bakery with Cuban coffee, or also Undercurrent Coffee. I'm trying some Asian street food at Bao and Broth with bowls of ramen. This is miso ramen with ginger chicken, roasted corn, bamboo shoots, burnt garlic, and sesame oil. A nice little courtyard to eat in. Also in the Mill District is one of the best grab-and-go eateries, the Soul Food Meat Company. It is near the 25th Street Linx Blue Line station. This is a Korean fusion barbecue. North Carolina is known for good barbecue, especially pork, and you can get it here. They have a good website for ordering online and picking up. There's a big menu of pulled pork, tacos, ribs, wings, sliders, and adult beverages. There's a nice courtyard and splash pad area for kids, as well as a fenced-in dog area. I'm having the pork ribs with a salad.
It's got soy and sesame oil. Nice and soft.
Bailey gives her endorsement as well. Just a couple miles north of Uptown to a new revitalized district, which opened in 2017. This was a former missile plant, CAMP, an acronym for Charlotte Area Missile Plant. And before that, this was a Ford Motor factory, now transformed into a hub for some of the city's most creative businesses. In the center open-air courtyard, there's a halal where you can get Middle Eastern street food. There's a stylish coffee bar, Hex Coffee Kitchen, and natural wines. The Wentworth and Fenn Bakery, with a nice little garden area with Adirondack chairs. You can get some good vegan food at Soul Miner's Garden. Also a free-range brewery. And the Blue Barn with local farm-to-table burgers. I'm having a barbecue chicken quesadilla with free-range chicken tossed in a house-made barbecue sauce, melted cheese, and toasted tomato tortilla. And 3 miles north of Uptown is the artsy district called NoDa, which is short for North Davidson. Its neighborhood theater hosts some big-name acts. NoDa is known for eclectic galleries, music venues, artisan gift shops, tattoo parlors, dive bars, and great food. There's the Heist Brewery with a patio deck. You'll find Southern fare at Haber Dish. There's Cajun cuisine, pizza, and Charlotte's Best tacos and margaritas, which are at Cabo Fish Taco, with great service. Brad here is a Tampa native.
Hi, Mom. Come visit sometime.
There's a wide variety of margaritas and local beers. They also have a good selection of fresh seafood, chicken, and steak, and vegetarian options. And 2 miles west of Uptown is the Lucky Dog Bark and Brew. This is a sports bar for you and your dog, with TVs and over 20 beers on tap. While they don't have food, it's next door to the city kitchen, where you order your food from kiosk. Then you can bring it next door to the dog bar. All right, let's head to Charlotte's biggest lake. While the ocean beaches are 3 to 4 hours away, there are lakeside beaches around Charlotte. 19 miles north of Uptown is Lake Norman, at 34 miles long with over 520 miles of shoreline. It is the largest man-made body of fresh water in North Carolina. Created in the early 60s. On the north part of the lake is Mtn State Park, has 31 miles of biking trails and no fees to enter for the state park. On the south part of the lake is Ramsey Creek Park with a popular swimming beach. This is $10 per car weekdays, $15 weekends. While the park is open year-round, the swimming beach is only open Memorial Day to Labor Day. There's a nice ADA-compliant fishing pier. Lake Norman hosts several national fishing tournaments. It's a great place to catch catfish, crappie, largemouth and striped bass, and yellow and white perch. There are boat launching and walkout docks. A large playground with zip lines, picnic shelters, nature trails, a sand volleyball court, horseshoe pit, and a dog park. There's benches all around the park to sit back and enjoy the lakeside view.
The hair grow.
Yeah.
And there's a 1.6 mile easy loop trail for birding and mountain biking. On the north part of the lake, located at the Queen's Landing boat ramp, is CS Boat Rentals, where you can rent a pontoon $300 for 4 hours or $500 for a full day. Or a wave runner, $219 for 2 hours or $279 for 4 hours. If you would like to live in the Lake Norman area, there's Villas on Brawley, a new community with 1-level, 2 and 3 bedroom single-family homes. As we head back toward Charlotte on I-77, wanted to point out a great waterside restaurant for fine dining. The North Harbor Club, a regatta-themed restaurant with a waterfront patio and 9 boat slips for guests. Mooresville is on the east side of Lake Norman and 11 miles north of Uptown. It is known as Race City, USA, as 5 NASCAR teams are based here, many with museums you can tour, and there's a world-class go-kart and motorplex here. While Charlotte is a bustling metro area, you don't have to go very far to feel like you are in small-town America. Another one of those Main Street-style vintage towns is Waxhaw, located 20 miles south of Charlotte. This is the region where gold was first discovered in North Carolina. It's just a couple of miles from the South Carolina border. Train tracks go right through the middle of downtown with a wooden pedestrian bridge. It's surrounded by lots of nature recreational areas, like the 12-mile Creek Trail, 3 miles north of downtown in South Carolina, Despite the name, it is a 6-mile trail with a number of boardwalks and bridges. Crossroads Coffee House is a highly reviewed place for espressos and lattes, dog-friendly, and with a good selection of pastries. You can enjoy it here on the front porch, but I'm taking my bagel and coffee to the scenic spot by the pedestrian bridge. Bailey enjoying her pup cup. There's a nice little military wall of honor here. Lots of vintage-style eateries. For ice cream, there's the Waxhaw Creamery, Mary O'Neill's Irish Pub, the Waxhaw Tap House, the Middle James Brewing Company. 8 miles south of downtown is Cane Creek Park. It is $4 for single vehicles or $8 for trucks and trailers to enter. It surrounds a 350-acre lake with fishing, boating, swimming, camping, and an equestrian trail for horses, as well as a disc golf course. You can do these pedal boats on the lake, $2 for a 30-minute ride, or rent a canoe or kayak for $10 an hour. There's a little mini golf course too for $2, and it's $2 to swim. There's a boat ramp for motorized boats, a sand volleyball court, a playground, both covered and open-air lakeside picnic tables. And there's 5 mountain bike hiking trails totaling 9 miles. Just a gorgeous park to enjoy the nature of the Piedmont. And finally, our last suburb I wanted to show you is Ballantyne. If you are familiar with Atlanta, this is the Buckhead of Charlotte. It's an affluent area, home to the Bowl, a vibrant new dining and retail district. Also Ballantyne Village, a shopping center for chic clothing boutiques. Ballantyne continues to attract more businesses and residents, lots of office space, hotels, numerous parks. For lodging, we stayed in both the La Quinta Airport North and the La Quinta Airport South. Both worked out fine, but I will say the North Hotel is a couple of minutes closer to downtown off I-85, and the room is slightly newer. But the La Quinta Airport South off I-77 is in a much better neighborhood than the North Hotel, so I probably would recommend the South Hotel. Both hotels are pet friendly. I highly recommend this Ozark Trail Sand Island Beach Wagon. You can pick up online at Walmart's website. You won't find it inside their stores. It's a different color now, but it's $79, good for both the beach or just carrying your stuff into a hotel. So, in summary, as with any growing city, you'll often hear the same complaints. I understand it because Tampa is very similar as far as its growing pains. I hear the same complaints, traffic, housing prices going up, etc. But there are so many positives. As more revenue flows into a city, it brings more businesses, more options of recreation, better restaurants and eateries. And when you compare Charlotte and the region as a whole with other metro areas, I think Charlotte has got a lot to appreciate. Let me know your thoughts about the Queen City in the comments below, any questions you may have or the things you've experienced here. We are Tampa Aerial Media. We film travel promos across the USA. For stock footage, or if you'd like to hire us to film your city, region, or resort, contact us at info@tampaaerialmedia.com. Next, we are heading back to the Ozarks, to Branson, Missouri, the Pigeon Forge of the Midwest. It's going to be a huge video.
So make sure you bring plenty of water. Climbing is good for you because it works the heart. And it's relatively easy on your joints.
These last 2 videos have been huge undertakings, so I'd like to thank all of the new subscribers and also all of you for your support, your tips, and your comments. It is very much appreciated and at times helps me to overcome some of the challenges. From the Queen City, I wish blessings to you wherever you may be.